Alright, welcome to another how-to anime video. So, I'm Otaku, and here on this channel, we give our raw opinions about our favorite animes. So for this video, we're going to be talking about the most disappointing anime of 2022. And the most disappointing anime of 2022 was The Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2. So Season 1 was so good. It was one of the most highly anticipated animes to make its comeback for 2022. So what went wrong with Season 2? What went wrong was the characters, the character motivations, the underwhelming portrayal of the antagonist. All in all, the characters were all a huge letdown this season. If there was one word to describe Season 2, it would be contrived. Season 1 of The Rising of the Shield Hero, or Tate no Yusha no Nariagari, was an instant classic anime. Now for me, the main character was summoned along with the 3 other guys from this world to become the cardinal heroes, and their whole point was to save this world that they got summoned to from something called the Waves. It's basically like a tower defense game. A bunch of monsters come in and then they have to kill them in order to save the world. That simple, that easy to understand the overarching arc of the whole anime. So, of course, things aren't as easy and simple because there are levels to the bullshit in the world. In this fantasy-like world, there are kings, queens, monsters, and bitches. Specifically, Bichi, formerly known as the manipulative firstborn princess, Multi. With Multi, we had the great antagonist we can all understand and relate to. Multi is representative of that powerful, high and mighty chick. Not because of the strength she wields, but with her power of accusation.
He R-worded me.
Those kinds of accusations levied wrongly for our guy Naofumi, the main character of this anime. And it led to 25 episodes of the classic anime of Naofumi overcoming Multi's handicap while still somehow coming up with the means to help save parts of this world, and most importantly, save his reputation. That is awesome arc. That's an awesome character arc to see to someone that got his reputation taken away from him, ripped away, and by a chick. And he got the last laugh in the end. The last laugh. And that is the satisfaction that we felt in Season 1. So, in Season 1, we had the rise of Naofumi's character development, a normal, kind, and simply heroic guy from the real world that got completely screwed over and became more cutthroat. So this gave us the me against the world, which eventually led to us against the world. He got to plead his case and convince and prove his innocence. We got to see all of that. And then we also got to see him bring along people that actually ended up having his back, and what made us like these other characters more. Like in the first episode, he grabbed Raptalia, who eventually becomes a potential romantic interest. And then many other characters like the blacksmith dude, the bird girl, Melty, and a bunch of other characters. So Season 2 had none of the best qualities that Season 1 had. That's fine, because there are arcs to characters. You can't just mimic the same antagonists and fight the same kind of bad guys, except in this case, I would have been fine with, Bichi 2.0. But Season 2, Naofumi already cleared his name, so what enticing new journey does he go on? Overcoming revenge and anger for a chick that he just met? Alright, let's start right here. So, we're going to talk about Os Horai and why she is bad. She is, number 1, a contradicting character. 2, becomes conveniently best friends forever in a few episodes with Raptalia, Risha, and Philo. 3, Naofumi knowingly sacrificed lives to save her by not killing her when he could have just killed her and just saved all the other characters' lives. But, it's an anime. They're cannon fodder. No one cares about these lives. Only about some hot chick. And then number 4, Naofumi's whole arc is about revenge for Os Horai. So having revenge for someone sounds very good, but having revenge for a character that doesn't make a lot of sense is a whole different story. So these 4 reasons are the reason and the crux of my whole disappointment of Shield Hero Season 2. It's because of Os Horai. Basically, the plot in Season 2 is this. Os shows up to warn the queen about the premature awakening of the spirit tortoise thing that's going across the world, stealing souls in order to gain enough power to protect the world from the wave of calamity, which is the whole reason why the 4 cardinal heroes are there in the first place. So if the 4 cardinal heroes don't do their job, this spirit tortoise thing is supposed to take its place, and how it's gonna come up with a way to protect the world is steal souls. Then let me tell you about this chick, this side chick, this concubine Osorai. Her purpose in life is to help the spirit tortoise steal souls by manipulating and causing death and destruction and an infinite amount of lives to be lost. You know, did I mention that she's a concubine? So she's just slanging that thing, convincing these old droopy kings to go to war every way imaginable. So yes, this chick that's going around telling kings, hey, go to war with them, so she can help the spirit tortoise steal souls. That chick, somehow this chick becomes part of the good guys with Naofumi, Philo, Raftalia, Risha. So she ended up lasting about 6 episodes. So 5 episodes if you don't count the end of episode 1 where she just randomly showed up. In between these 5 episodes, she mostly provides character development for Risha. Thank God for Risha though, because she's probably the best character of the whole season and her arc makes the most sense. So also teaches Risha the art of slanging that thing so she can get inside the Itsuki Bow Hero's pants. Other than that, she just shows off some of her whole right powers, and somehow it turned into, you know, we're friends forever. I told you my whole ways. So I'm like, y'all just met. They just met. And did you guys not hear what she just said? Her purpose is to help the spirit tortoise steal souls. That is who she is. How can she be a good guy? So she helps start wars. She helps steal souls. She's a whole lot of bitchy than a friend. But okay, it's whatever. I guess Osorai was supposed to be this classic case of the Jeets. You know, the Jeets, you know, Vegeta, bad guy turned good guy. She's like a variation of that. Then they met up with the villain, and the villain that started this whole prematurely waking up spirit tortoise thing, Kyo Ethnina, gets introduced. So Kyo Ethnina, why was he so bad? He might have been the worst villain I have ever seen. His character arc was better explained than shown. These are the list of things that Kyo Ethnina has done. He turned hot chicks into chimeras, turned his business partner into a homunculus zombie creature, convinces and manipulates his childhood friend that his actions are for the good. He kidnaps Raftalia, and he helps get Philo to turn into a slave. And of course, his whole purpose for all this is to steal souls to empower himself. So if you wrote all these things on a piece of paper, those are some pretty nice bad guy things to do. However, the weaving of these events and story was just terribly done. So the whole story itself, and the best way to describe this story, is just convenience. So Kyo just ends up conveniently doing these things. So when he kidnaps Raftalia, there's a lot of upside for that kind of story part of the arc. For the plot, only Raftalia, just in the very next episode, she just gets herself free. Like in the first 5 minutes of the episode, it's like, oh, I got kidnapped or whatever. Well, you know, no, you didn't. I'm gone now. And then she turns into the katana hero. Like all of a sudden, you know, her arc, it didn't make no sense. And then, you know, Philo turns into the whole slave thing. Oh, we found her. And then let's get her out. That's pretty much what happened. They found her, they got her out. And then the part where he convinces his childhood friend, Yomogi Imaro, that what he's doing is for the good and manipulating her to kind of help him. You know, her whole thing was like, oh, you know, I did it because I believed in him, because we're childhood friends. And then Kizuna shows up and she's like, nah, he's a bad guy. And then Yomogi is like, yeah, you know what? He's a bad guy. That's how that went. And then the whole Kazuki's hot chick harem that turned into chimeras. I mean, it sounds awesomely evil and very, very twisted, except there was literally no real build up to this moment. It kind of just happened. So all of a sudden, here's the hot chick harem that's trying to save Kazuki. And then he's like, yo, man, help me out. And then he just kind of just turned into chimeras. But that all happened off screen. Oh yeah, and then Kazuki, he's a freaking zombie. So there was no real lead up or real motivation behind Kyo doing all these sick and twisted acts. It all is supposed to just boil down to Kyo wanting to gain power. So that leads us to him wanting to steal those souls to empower himself. So that he's jumping from world to world, stealing all those spirit guardians like the spirit tortoise's power. So he is that typical bad guy thirsting for power for whatever reason. So we don't find out why he wants power until the very end of the season, and it all ends up being pretty dumb. He was just some fat otaku that jumped out the window, The anime didn't really make it clear, but I mean, apparently, I read online, he lost his progress in an MMO. So he's an otaku, he spent most of his life playing this damn game, and then he lost his progress. That made him very depressed, so he jumped his ass out of the window. I mean, that's actually kind of hilarious. Throughout the whole season, he just talks trash to Naofumi the whole time, getting under your skin. That's like almost all he did. Other characters that are supposed to raise the profile of Kyo Etnina was Yomugi and Kazuki. The way they weaved these characters was just downright bad. Kazuki represented the crappier version of Kyo, crappy lines, cocky attitude. And then Yomugi and Maro, she was supposed to be this ironically airheaded comedic character that helped supported Kyo, but was too dumb to realize that he's evil. But that too dumb to realize that that dude is evil part was never really shown. She shows up to fight Naofumi and the others, gets her ass handed to her. Then Kizuna takes her home to convince her, yo man, did you know that Kyo's bad? And then she was like, yeah, you know what? He is pretty bad. Let me help you stop him. So the pacing to all of this was terrible. They just skipped too much of the context, and there was no buildup for all of these to make absolute sense and make it a real payoff. So in the end, Kyo Etnina, he had this classic bookworm look, and he had just lame dialogue, just saying these snide remarks to Naofumi and all the other heroes. And it turns out he was just hopping from world to world to gain power because he was super self-conscious about his crappy otaku past life. He wanted to just become someone of value, and that somehow became this sick, twisted thing to gain more power. I don't know. A lot of what happens becomes just convenient, and it's just Kyo as a simplistic plot device. And that is why Kyo Etnina is such a terrible character. It just made season 2 really, really bad. Also right in Kyo Etnina. So that takes us to Naofumi in this whole character development. We could literally just skip the first half of season 2. Naofumi is just super dependable as you can be. The dude literally solves like almost everything. Like super conveniently solves it, almost everything. Then they introduce one of the most contradicting characters, Os Horai, to be the catalyst to set up the arc of Naofumi's revenge rage character arc, where he stops Kyo Etnina because he killed Os Horai, he kidnapped Raptalia, and turned Philo into a slave. So season 1 was raging over people screwing him over. And season 2 was about Naofumi raging over his close friends, some Horai. Only intriguing part about Naofumi's character development is the revenge portion in the back half of season 2. Kyo taking away Philo and Raptalia from Naofumi's party had tons of potential, except he gets back Philo rather quickly, and Raptalia becomes the chosen one as the katana hero, like she's some damn Luke Skywalker out of nowhere. Philo and Raptalia missing and getting kidnapped was the best character development for Naofumi, but that's it. And it all happened really, really fast, where, they all went missing for like one episode combined. So Os Horai was basically there to give Naofumi a power-up. So there was this whole big reveal of Os Horai actually being the spirit tortoise. Actually, she was just holding the spirit tortoise core, and Naofumi and others could have killed her at like any moment. I mean, he could have saved all these other lives. Naofumi knew this entire time that she held the core, and then he could have just killed her. But instead, he sacrificed all the other people's lives by letting the spirit tortoise just like kill all these other people to save Os. Naofumi needs some of that Kiritsugu logic from Fate. He would have done blasted Horai and saved all those other countless lives and tried to stop the spirit tortoise. That's what Kiritsugu would have done. So for me, this is a big logic problem for the main character. It doesn't seem like something that he would do, but I mean, he just met this chick. So Os being the catalyst for Naofumi just rubs me the wrong way. So the upside of saving Os just ends up being Naofumi gaining this new shield. If this shield was a power that is absolutely needed, then like yes, it makes sense that Naofumi needed this power to like help save people. Maybe that does happen down the line, but I mean, like, he literally can open up any kind of shield and gain any kind of power through his emotions. So it just does not make any sense. Wouldn't it make a lot more sense if he just killed her and saved all these other people's lives? So I mean, wouldn't that make a lot of sense? So in the end, Naofumi's revenge for Ulf is just dumb to me because Naofumi loses his companion or side hoe. He just jumps into this portal thing and chases after Kyo to get revenge after getting the revenge motivation in. So after showing Raptalia missing and meeting up with her and then Philo becoming a slave and saving her, he of course shows his rage when he gets to fight Kyo. Then an old flame comes back, some Horai comes back and offers that friendship forever bullcrap. Remember, we had a thing. Remember, I gave you a piece of me. Then it ends on one of the most confusing motivations and explanations ever for Naofumi. He accepts his feelings. He's doing whatever he's doing, not for others, but for himself. So the confusing part here is he's raging over getting revenge and turning into the dark side by killing Kyo. So Ulf kind of stops him, but at the end of the day, he still gets his revenge and kills Kyo. That's WTF, guys. How the hell does that make sense? Usually you don't kill the bad guy after that moment. You kind of somehow lock him up or something, right? So overall, guys, every step of the way to get to the end of the season was just bad. I still like many of the characters and the newer characters like Kizuna, like Yomugi. So there's ton of potential still there, but still the storytelling in this season was just contrived and lame, and I hated the character motivations. I hated how all of these things were portrayed. The pacing was just terrible, and there's nothing good to take away from Kyo Ethnina besides maybe don't be an otaku, guys. So yeah, guys, just let me know what you thought about season 2. I would love to know what you guys like, what you guys dislike. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys disagree with me? There are some other honorable mentions that I could still talk about. So yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about season 2. And I appreciate you guys watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out my blog at otakusin.com, check out my anime figure channel, and check out my streams on Monday nights at 10 p.m. Central. That is where me and the chat, we come together and look at anime figures. So yeah, I'm Otaku Sin, and here on this channel, we give our raw opinions about our favorite animes. So let me know what you guys think about the season 2 of the Rising of the Shield Hero. What was the worst anime for you guys in 2022? I would love to know, and I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next video.